Welcome back, everybody. Derrick Soo, your East Oakland advocate. Well, crime has no boundaries. Now, here in Oakland, along the waterfront of Oakland, near Coast Guard Island, we're having boat thefts and also break-ins and people stealing stuff off boats that are at the marinas and the docks. And pretty much everybody has figured out where the problem is. And these are the illegal anchor outs that are um, in the estuary area. This is a zone that is, well, it's patrolled, but it's not enforced much because it is considered a safe harbor in the event of bad weather. And so uh, anchoring is allowed in this zone. It's a quiet zone just off of the estuary. It's parallel to the estuary, and so a lot of boat owners are getting stuff stolen from off their boats. If not, their boats being stolen and being stripped and then sunk in the harbor. And so this is a big problem. And um, Oakland Police Department does have a Marine division. For those of you that don't know, they do have a Marine division. But typically, it's only used on the weekends and holidays, unfortunately, because of the police shortage. And so thieves know that there isn't uh, anybody going to bother them when they break into boats or steal the boats. And even when a boat is stolen, uh, the owners don't know for days, weeks, or even months until they go down to a dock and check on their boat. As I used to have two boats at marinas, one on a trailer and one in the water. My 30 footer was too big to actually put on the trailer. It wasn't uh, feasible, and so we kept it in the water. And we didn't have any break-in problems because Berkeley Marina is well patrolled. You have the not only the harbor master's office that can scan and look over the entire harbor, but you also have uh, the game warden office right there, and that's the game warden office is 24/7, and so there's always an officer on duty, and they have the game warden boat right there at the Berkeley Marina, and so thieves, we know that they're pretty stupid, but they're not that stupid. And whereas here in Oakland, even though they're across from the Coast Guard Island, they know that there's only certain times at the Coast Guard, and then when they are on the water and patrolling, you can see it, and then you just don't do any crimes. Uh, and so it goes back to just like Sausalito has a lot of illegal anchor outs that I don't agree with, because number one, they're polluting the water. They're dumping their feces and urine and garbage and everything right into the water. So um, I'm an avid boating person, and uh, I don't like people like that. I don't like people dumping garbage and waste into our waters because that pollutes everything. It also sets up uh, bacterial issues, not only for swimming and recreating, but also those toxins get into the fish. And so these are things that we don't want, the bacterial infections into the food chain. Uh, BCDC, they're putting pressure on all of the different agencies, Alameda County, Alameda, Oakland, police departments, and the cities to enforce the no anchor outs. And I agree with that. No anchor outs. If you're going to anchor out, you go anchor out in the shallow portion of the bay. You don't do it uh, in these zones if you're going to be illegal, because you can be illegal out on the bay, and then who's going to deal with you? Coast Guard, because that's a federal waterway, and that's oversight of the Coast Guard, not the city. And a couple years ago, I think it was 2020, there was some illegal anchor outs that were around the Fifth Avenue area, and so they were warned, and this one person refused to move, and so when he went ashore to go get food and stuff, city just came in and destroyed the boat. They took it out of there, destroyed it, trashed it up because they were being penalized $5,000 per day that boat stayed in that harborage, and that was the waterway that goes from the Oakland Estuary, and it flows into Lake Merritt. And so the pollutants that person was throwing off their boat, all of their poop and their urine and everything else, went to Lake Merritt, or it went into our estuary, because they don't do pump outs. These things are barely floating to begin with. And so while that person was upset and angry, they even sued the city. And I believe their case was thrown out and wasn't heard because he had nothing, no legal standing, because he was illegal and illegal anchor out. He was warned many times by city, county, and state officials that he had to vacate and move, and they even gave him a deadline. And so, yes, I agree with the agencies that destroyed that boat. I don't care about those anchor outs, because they're usually the problems here on shore or near shore. They they damage the environment by putting all their garbage and everything else into the water because they don't care. Their vessels are barely floating, and when they do sink, all they do is just swim to shore or go to shore and walk away. And then all the city, state, and federal agencies have to spend money to clear that problem. And if it's in an area where it becomes a navigational hazard, it has to be dealt with in a even quicker timeline. So these are things that are happening here in Oakland on the water. And personally, if I were you, a boat owner in a marina, I would take some time. I would arm myself. I would go down there and sleep on my boat a few nights a week, because most marinas have a sleepover allowance of up to 14 days. You can sleep up to 14 days, 13 nights on board your boat in your marina, and there's not a damn thing that the harbor master can do about it, because that's the law. And if somebody came aboard my boat in the middle of the night, I guarantee they would be fish food. Literally, they're going to be fish food, because you're somewhere where you're not supposed to be. You're fucking with property that is very expensive, and I'm spending a load of money at the harbor and to berth my boat there and keep it safe. And then to have some low-life criminal come in and take something from a very expensive boat. We're talking, my boat that was at Berkeley was nearly $400,000. That was a $400,000 boat. You come on board my boat, you mess with something, yeah, you're going to be fish food. If not, you're going to be crab feed. Yeah, that's what you're going to be, because you're not going to do it again. You come aboard once, that'll be the first and last time that you do it. So, folks, you need to also find some way to protect your boat if you have a boat on the water that is docked at a marina, because especially here in Oakland, because these anchor outs are lawless individuals. They don't care, and they're going to fight tooth and nail, just like they are right now in Sausalito. And a lot of people think I have um, that I sympathize with the anchor outs. No, I don't. I am completely against all of the anchor outs there. I do not support a single one of them. Thanks for joining me today. We'll be right back.